Okay, let's give this a shot. Hopefully the audio is fixed from Culture Casino's thing, and the mic is actually working. I rebooted everything, and we will dive right in. So, everything looks green on this side, so I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping somebody comes in to let me know if that's not the case. This is not a good start. I'm gonna need to go back to that save room. Oh, don't use a stupid potion. Alright, we're gonna die intentionally. Because I don't need to save with her using half of my stuff. Okay, don't fall down to begin with. Stop healing me. Maybe I should just turn the fairy off. Okay, good, because I don't know what the hell was going on Culture Stream. Everybody was telling me the audio was off. I unplugged the mic, I replugged it in, I changed all the settings, and nothing worked, apparently, so... Game audio coming through okay, too? And how you doing, Common Nerd? Good to see you again. Alright, so that was a bit of a false start. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is my laptop is at about 10,000 degrees when I touched it, so the whole thing may just melt down. Usually I turn it off when I'm not going to be streaming for a little bit, and we had a whole bunch of company over. I left it on all evening, and the camera was on and everything for some reason, so that is probably the culprit. Now, I can't remember where I'm supposed to go, but we're gonna make our way this way. I guess grab a crappy ring that means nothing. And get trapped by a whole bunch of skulls. We'll go down here and save again, since I got hit by multiple of those skulls. And let's kill a couple of these guys. Maybe we can at least get some level ups off of this trash. Because now I'm in the upside down castle, and I have a feeling I'm severely underleveled for it. And thank you for the tweet too, Common Nerd. I did not send anything out because it's so late. But I appreciate the help. This area is just no joke. If I can remember how to get to the bosses, then we'll just kind of go straight there, because I'm gonna need health to get there and deal with them. But I didn't pay a whole bunch of attention last night, so... Yeah, it's a bit late, but I figured I would go do Culture's thing and then come do a little bit of this, because I like being on panels quite often a little bit more than I like being solo, just playing a game, so a little bit more fun being on a panel. Okay, she's gonna save me. What direction am I supposed to be going for that boss that we took out last night and then had to retake out? That doesn't feel right. I mean, technically, we've got the whole castle to explore, but it's got to be to the left. One of the directions to the left. But I'm not a fan of these Minotaurs at all. And what sword are we using? Why is that equipped still? I'm going to be doing a few of the old school Nintendo games, because kind of like the Rygar one. That's a game that is woefully underrated, and I think more people need to know that it exists. I love that game. Yeah, I do a little bit better with the political stuff than I do the entertainment and pop culture stuff. But I guess that's kind of part of the reason why I got pulled into comics and stuff, is because out of all of the F&T guys, comics is probably the most political, even though even me and him don't agree on everything. I mean, most of us are pretty close on everything, but I think I'm probably... what's the best way to say it? I'm probably the most religious and probably further right guy on that panel than anybody else is, so... At least that's where we all play it as. But yeah, panels are fun. It's nice to be able to talk to other people and not feel kind of isolated in the YouTube stuff. But it's also fun to do stuff on your own channel every now and then. Which I've spent far more time doing stuff on other people's channels than I have on mine. And even like the retro gaming thing. It's mostly because I just don't have the time to make videos or try to put a panel of my own together right now. I mean, to try to get a consistent panel going, it takes a bit of work and commitment, because if you say you're going to be doing, say, a Sunday night panel, and then you can only make every other Sunday, it doesn't fit well in this space. People notice when you say you're going to do something and then you can't live up to it. But retro gaming, you can do this anytime. I am not a fan of this boss. Okay, I think I get rid of the little guy. I guess I lost too much before I saved? Yeah, the politics. Politics is hard. Because if you do find people that like it, you're still fighting YouTube at all times. And you're not likely to find a large number of people that are looking for that on YouTube, even in our corner. Yeah, I don't particularly go out of my way to say my faith most of the time, but I don't have a problem with people knowing that I'm a Christian. The only real issue is living up to Christian values, which, you know, as we can see by the drinking and smoking, I don't do the best job of that, but we all have vices, we all, you know, do things that probably aren't the best for us, but it is what it is. I have my lines that I won't cross also. Especially, well, I have my lines I definitely won't cross on YouTube anytime soon. Yeah, I think Sunday is ripe. Excuse me. There's just not a lot that goes on in our sphere on Sundays until later. But that could be because everybody's already looked at it and everybody needs a day off. It may be very hard to get other people to come on to your panel on a Sunday if most people aren't doing Sundays because people want, you know, one day to not deal with everything. But I don't know. Wednesdays are getting saturated. Tuesdays are semi-open to a degree. I mean, Nick does his Toxic Tuesday, which is definitely awesome, but it caters to a very specific type of crowd. It's not going to be your typical. It's going to be people that really love Nick. Yeah, I must be out of healing items because she's not saving me at all. She's not even healing me, which makes it really crappy that I saved because I used that stuff on those trash mobs and then saved. So I guess the fairy is not worth anything at this point. I'll pull out, I mean, everything else is like level 0. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of told the guys, I mean, Dick's Division, most of the jokes go pretty far anyway, but I've put a pretty hard line on most of the cussing just because, or I mean, for me, because, and if my kids don't hear me talk like that in a day-to-day basis, they don't necessarily need to hear me talk like that on YouTube either. Even though I probably do a lot more cussing like a sailor, you know, hanging out with the guys normally, but that doesn't mean it needs to be broadcast over the internet. Alright, let's get rid of her. I'm not real happy with the way this is going with the fairy, having used all of my healing stuff. I guess we'll use the demon. I have a pork bun and a turkey. So I don't know why she's not using those, but whatever, we'll have one ready to go, I guess. Try to knock this guy out quick. And then we'll try to use spells on Trevor instead of getting hit by crosses over and over and over. Or I can get trapped. Oh, come on, just die. Okay. Let's toss the turkey. Really? Just gonna do the lockdown thing, huh? I can't get away without getting severely damaged. Yeah, Tuesday night main event's kind of taking over some of that stuff, but I don't find it quite as compelling as, say, FNT. And I love Jeremy and Ryan. But it does, just, to me, it does not have the, same kind of feel as, say, FNT. The problem is, after I kill him, she starts summoning guys. Oh, the demon finally did something. Ouch. I can't believe he's not dead yet. He's taken a hell of a lot more hits than the other guy did. I'm fine with that, hitting her instead of him. Ouch. Okay. What do we have? A Frankfurter was all that was left. Cheese. A pot roast. Let's do that. And of course I get hit by him. 5 hits is what they think. Without that stupid fairy actually helping out, this is troublesome. Because one of her spells takes off most of my life. And then you get trapped. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's right. F&T is what's drawing people in, and then you gotta do your job to take a piece of it at the moment. Well, I could go somewhere else and try to get some more healing stuff. There's nothing that says I have to take this boss down. All it does is give you a life max up. It doesn't give you one of the parts of Dracula, so... That's weird. It disconnected the controller. Let's try reconnecting. There it goes. Yeah, I would love to have the fairy, but the fairy doesn't have any healing things that it's sending out. It's supposed to heal, but I think it only uses potions. And I'm out of potions. Or are you talking about the chick that's casting the spells? I need to get better at doing this spell. Back, forward to back, forward, and square. But I am absolute crap. Yeah, if I can't take it this time, I say we move on to the anywhere else, because I've got the whole upside down castle to search. Yeah, and these guys are just rocking me. I'm just so underleveled for this. No, technically I don't need to do anything with those guys at the moment, so yeah, let's go somewhere else, because this is what the upside down castle looks like right now. I have done pretty much nothing in here. So there's all kinds of places to go explore. And I've got to collect the pieces of Dracula. And the demon's controlling me. At least it's making me punch the right direction. Wow, they are swarming. Gotta collect all the pieces of Dracula to get the true ending. I'm not planning on trying to get the 206% or whatever. So, we'll just go with whatever it takes to get Dracula's body parts. And then go fight Dracula. And I'd say that's a pretty good semi-blind playthrough. If you get one of the good endings. Have we been here? Yeah, this is one of the only places we have been. So we need to go down, or we need to go up and right. That's bad. Okay, we'll go down. Although I don't think there's anything down here. There's a life max up. That's at least a refill of life. Hopefully the demon will get a few more levels during this. Yeah, I had no trouble beating Trevor. So that's where it's awkward, because I would have thought that would have put me kind of ready for this area, but it hasn't equated to that. Everything has been far more leveled than I am. What do we got here? The Twilight Cloak. It's a black cloak for vampires, but it's got 2 more defense, so let's do that. We know we can't go down. There's another door up on the left. We can try to get there. That guy is right on me. Those demons are a pain in the butt. Okay, so this should be a whole new area. Yeah. Yeah, for me, the biggest thing with doing the pop culture side of things is, unless you find something that you actually care about to talk about, it doesn't work. It's hard to be authentic if you're talking about something. It's easy to be authentic if you really love something or if you really hate something. The hard part comes in when there's just a whole bunch of stuff that you're apathetic about. And at that point, it's hard to force yourself to make content just because, you know it's not good, but it's not so bad that you hate it either. And I think that's one of the problems we're gonna have is we're trying to call everything horrible when not everything is horrible. It's just most things are horrible, but most things aren't good enough to also make you just gush about it for the same 3 to 6 weeks that you do about something that's horrible. Yeah, and Symphony of the Night it's a side scroller, but I mean, anything that you get that's Metroidvania style is gonna be crazy, because it really kind of forces you to go forward, backwards. I mean, you have to go to the same places over and over and over again. Until you've got it completely memorized, and then you can just fly through it, but it's not where I'm sitting. Have you never played this one? I mean, it sounds like you've never played it from that comment, but... I mean, just the basic enemies in this area are so much tougher than the other castle. These guys are just tearing me up. I mean, that guy takes one hit to kill, but he also takes off, what, 30% of my life? And has a stupid pattern. Oh, I tried to go over him. Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's a lot easier to go off on something that you actually feel something about. I mean, you give me 15 minutes with something and, yeah, I'll happily discuss it. But I won't do it with a, with the level of vitriol or, if it doesn't matter to me, it's just hard for me to do anything other than talk about it in a very specific way. It doesn't affect me. And I know a lot of the guys can just go on rants just to go on rants, but at some point, and I don't know, at some point it feels like we're not looking for anything to be happy about anymore. Hey, what's up, Tim? I'm trying to have fun. This game is kicking my butt at this point. I'm underleveled. Yeah, I agree with you on that. The Sword of Hador. Let's see if that's worth putting on, I guess. Would take circle up to 48, but that's from an empty hand. 48 is 9 points higher than what my square attack is doing. Yeah, it's hard to be in a good mood with all that crap going on. But I mean, part of what I guess I'm saying is, like, we have a tendency in our side of things, just because so much of it is revolving around comics and stuff, to not look at anything else. I mean, as far as entertainment goes, I mean, stuff like Yellowstone, 1883, Terminal List, Reacher, all that stuff has actually been pretty good. But we don't give it the attention that we give to the things that we're just pissed off about. And I get that, because the anger is a lot easier to make the content off of. Yeah, I got my tickets to Vegas last week, so I am all set for Vegas. That guy looks tough. Let's look the other direction. Actually, let's look at straight down the center where items were. See if there's anything else here. Yeah, I mean, I think we're converting a lot. Well, I think life is converting a lot more people to our way of thinking. Whether they discover us is a different thing, but I would hope that we're having some portion of involvement in, you know, people just kind of discovering how much they've been duped lately. I am going to fly because it'll actually be my whole family is going. I've got the wife and kids are going to go out too. And the kids start school technically the day after the meetup, but one's starting college, and it's really, I mean, she can do her stuff online. The other one is starting 8th grade, which at her school, she's already been in middle school for, you know, 6th and 7th grade, so 8th grade is not that much different, so it's not like she has to learn how to get to classes or follow a bell schedule or anything like that. So we're going to take her out of school for the 2 days, because unfortunately that's the timing they took. The decisions for the meetups do not revolve around parents all that much, I think, because what the Orlando meetup is Halloween. A, I don't have the funds, and B, holy crap, there wasn't a save that whole time. Yeah, I don't have the funds to do every meetup, and there's no chance in hell my wife is going to have the family skip Halloween for a meetup. She doesn't even really like that I do the YouTube thing at all. She doesn't get it. So there's got to be a better way to take care of these guys. I think Vegas will be fun, though. Because Vegas is one of those places where even if we're all on different hotels on the Strip, we're all right there. I mean, I don't take a car to Vegas ever if you're staying on the strip and everybody else is on the strip. Yeah, it's going to be hot as hell and there's going to be a lot of walking, but we'll be able to, you know, outside of the meetup, people will be seeing each other all over the place. And I think that's a great idea. Yeah, it's a dry heat. Still doesn't make me a fan of 108, 110 degrees. And half of the reason I was able to talk the wife and kids into going was because there is a pretty good pool where I'm going to be staying, so they're gonna spend probably most of the time in the pool. These guys are ridiculous. Nine hits? Well, believe me, it's a lot harder to talk your wife into things when the funds aren't exactly rolling in and you say, hey, I'd like to go meet up with a whole bunch of guys that I just met up with 2 months ago. This one may end up delisted since I can't get anywhere. The extra 2 bourbons were probably a mistake. But I don't know that it's the bourbon that's the problem. It's kind of where I'm trapped in the game is not helping me out. See, I'm in Colorado. We're now down into the 80s. We actually hit 68 a couple days ago for our high. Well, the wife thinks I'm absolutely insane, but for me, if I'm gonna try to do the YouTube thing as a side thing, I mean, because I've got a real job, but I also started that real job recently from scratch, and the YouTube thing is supposed to be my, you know, kind of, I guess, stress reliever. But if I'm gonna actually try to do it, Vegas for me is not just meeting a whole bunch of people that I would like to meet, but it's also a lot of networking. I mean, because Dallas, see, all this boss is just going from that other side to this side, so I don't see a reason to mess around with that boss. Even though I actually have full health this time to try to do it. I think we'll do it later. Let's see what we can do this direction. I mean, Dallas was awesome, though. I got to meet a whole bunch of people. I got to actually go out with all of the FNP and Geeks and Gamers people on a separate event, just because luckily I'm a panelist for comics, and since he's on FNT, I got a little bit of notice, and that was absolutely fantastic, because then I get to meet those guys and actually, you know, do a little bit of networking, so it was good. Well, and Tim, that's what I've found a lot of people use YouTube and our corner for is, you know, there's lots of people in chat that I've never met, probably will never meet, but I see them in every single show, and I'm not talking about shows necessarily that I'm on, I'm talking about just I mean, I still go into chats all the time and, you know, just chat around with everybody too. And, you know, they may not be the same as friends that you could actually go see in person anytime you want, but nonetheless, they're gonna, you know, keep in touch with you through the chat that we're all kind of linked to. So in this day and age, digital friends are not necessarily lesser than real friends. Oh no, I didn't get to go to the Denny's meetup. They did do Denny's in Dallas, but I got to go to the hotel bar with them. What was it? Like Saturday night. So we had the meetup, then they went to Denny's after the meetup, I think, because everybody was exhausted. And then Friday was FNT, so they did all that. And then Saturday, I think I went out to the hotel with them. The hotel bar. And Alex Stein actually showed up. He was excited to meet us for some crazy reason. Well, I'll rephrase that. He was excited to meet the FNT and GNG guys. So as far as I go, I'm still a relative unknown. I mean, there are people who know who I am, but I've had no interaction with. I mean, like Gary, when I walked up and talked with Gary, he knew the name. He had probably seen me. Well, he had seen me because I had been on his member streams on camera. But I don't think he knew that I had actually started anything, that kind of thing. Alright, Common, you have a great night. Thank you for stopping by and getting things started with me. That wave feels bad. Oh wait, there was some life down here I can go get. Hope you have a great night, bud. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with George and Culture in Dallas. Well, since, I mean, in Dallas, there were the main FNT guys, and then outside of that, I mean, yeah, there were other people there. Not a lot of them, but me and Culture just kind of hung out together because we're on a show together and we hadn't met in person, so we spent a lot of time getting to know each other, you know, kind of actually in person. Haven't met Tom yet. But me and Tom don't, I mean, we have interaction on Comics' channel and Culture's channel, but I don't go on Midnight's, or I haven't been on Midnight's Edge or anything like that yet, so. I met Stone Loki out in Dallas. Paulie was not out in Dallas, so I didn't get to meet him, but Paulie seems like a great guy. Hey Kathy, how's it going? Yeah, Culture does seem like one of those out-of-time type guys. It's hard to pin him down between 30 and 80. But he's a great guy. And Tom Yeah, Tom is just fun. I don't know that I'll ever forgive Mexican Iron Man for giving him that stream deck that lets him change his voice constantly and play clips, but Tom's fun. I thought the second castle would be easy, but it is kicking my butt. See, I haven't been on a stream with Mexican Iron Man or anything with Mexican Iron Man. I've talked to him once, and that was via email because I needed to ask him a tax question about YouTube. So. Oh, there could be plenty of third reasons. Damn it. This upside-down castle is not designed for you to land on anything. Alright, let's try healing back up. Hair and beard. He speaks like he's from the 70s. I'm gonna play through probably all of the Game Boy Advance ones. I might do the NES ones, but I just don't care to brutalize myself through quite a bit of the NES stuff. But the Game Boy Advance ones, I kind of just like the Metroidvania style ones, so I'll definitely go through all of those. But the NES ones are just... Castlevania 1's hard. I copied Kitty. Not really a specific era. I mean, just things that are more from my childhood and teenage years, because I'm 40. So, older stuff. PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo, that kind of stuff. More so than the newer generations. Maybe even some PlayStation 2 stuff, just because it's retro at this point, I guess. There's been 3 systems since then. Alright, which way can we go that actually gets us somewhere? Down and left? Okay, we'll do that. See, this game was on the original PlayStation, and it's a classic. So there's nothing that way. Oh, I'm not worried about the grammar, man. And look at how many hits these things take. Thumb's getting tired trying to hit it. I get a level up practically off of 1. Yeah, typically retro just means the older generation of the games. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4 games retro at this point, but when you're getting into the 10, 15-year-old games, sure. And then if you're going past that, absolutely. Almost anything in an arcade is retro now. Hey, a warp zone. Yeah, before microtransactions, absolutely. It didn't take me anywhere. And it acts like I'm going through, but it's the same room, so I guess that doesn't work. I still have a ColecoVision. And 5 Nintendos. I've just collected the older systems because I know they're going to give out. In fact, I'm not sure any of them actually work at this point. They're just sitting collecting dust, but I have the whole collection of games, and I have the systems just in case. Yeah, I agree, because even when I started watching FNT, I mean, there was very little politics. Most of it was all about shows, and now they're opening up a little bit more, doing a little bit more politics, doing a wider variety of things, and having a wider variety of guests than just talking about this is why we hate Doctor Who now. Or, I mean, we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings, we're going to talk about those things, but I think what they said on the panel in Houston was actually probably the truest thing about FNT, and I'm hoping that that's where we get to with comics division shows too. Is in Houston, what they said was, we don't have topics. What we do is, you know, a group of us get together on Friday and we hang out and talk. I mean, it's very, what comes up, you know, what topics come up. And I think panels work a lot better when, you know, you don't have to rely on, like, the, sorry, ducking. You don't have to rely on, you know, just going through articles to get you through a 2 or 3 hour show. I think if you've got people who like each other well enough and mix with each other well enough, what you're going to get is a show that people like FNT, without having to really come up with topics. It's like, haven't seen friends for, you know, 7 days. We're just going to talk about the things that happened this week. And that's kind of where that show has gone. And then you have your guests. I mean, when Mahler comes on, or Drinker comes on, you know, tons of those guys. I mean, yeah, they may interact with a few of the guys from FNT during the weekly stuff. I mean, Mahler obviously does with the sorry, got distracted. With Az and Margarotic every, what is that, Tuesday? Tuesday during the day. But the rest of the guys don't get to hang out with them the whole time, so it's literally catching up with old friends. Yeah, Greg. I mean, that's what I think these panels need to evolve into. Yeah, Gary's an interesting guy. I mean, he's had a different life than a lot of people have, I think. But my interactions with him have been fantastic. I mean, he's a very humble man who has blown up in a way that I don't think he ever expected. But Gary's different than most of the rest of the YouTubers that I've talked to in person or even just being on stream with. Gary is completely able to talk to a camera and provide his own monologue without having anybody give him anything. If the chat wasn't there, Gary could still sit there and talk for 3 hours. Yeah, and I'm wondering, I mean, we constantly talk about the algorithm, Kathy, but one of the questions I have is, because I wouldn't have known Mahler outside of kind of the F&T crowd, and he's got quite a bit of connection with the F&T crowd, but would I have ever found a Mahler video without the algorithm hitting me to the F&T crowd? I mean, I had already been watching F&T, Comics Division, some of the other stuff. But Mahler, while he has a connection there, it's not like he's, up until recently, it's not like he's been a full part of that whole group. I mean, he was doing his own thing with the EFAP. And then, I mean, he's got his, you know, ridiculously long documentaries. I'm not sure which one was the first Mahler one that I watched, but somehow I got onto the Dark Souls 2 videos from him, and then I recognized him as somebody that, you know, I had heard probably on another channel, or it may have been EFAP. It may have just been one of those that just auto-played at some point. Yeah, and that's what's unfortunate is even being on people's channels now as a panelist, you're still not going to have YouTube actually recommend you to people who are watching those channels. I don't know that YouTube has ever recommended me to any of Comics Division's people, or if it would, even though I'm on his channel twice a week. And part of the shame of it is, I think we should be able to do things with our channels where if you have panelists on your channel, it should automatically, you know, kind of link the people in the chat, anybody who's a subscriber to that channel, in some way or another. It should almost like partially subscribe them to those panelists, because obviously if they're watching every panel from that person, it's not just that person, it's the panel that's, you know, bringing them in. So it'd be nice if YouTube had something to where if you're watching somebody's channel and they have a panel on a live stream, then you could just automatically go and subscribe, click one button and subscribe to everybody on the shows. You know, every guest, everything. And Kitty, I agree with that. I mean, there have been plenty of episodes of, you know, like since we were talking about it earlier, Friday Night Tights, that I just don't watch. if it's not a guest that I don't like, and you know, if the energy's not there or something. And believe me, when you're on the panels, you know when the energy feels low. It's just one of those things. Yeah, like Gray. I mean, you're on salty stuff constantly. I mean, not constantly, but you know, you're connected to like salty Texas Sea stuff. If you were on the show, I think personally that there should be a subscribe all button that when you're on the show, it automatically links you. Well, I do things at weird times too. I don't have anything that's, I mean, like tonight, I was on Culture Casino's show, and then I was just like, yeah, I'll go game for a couple hours. So I would still hope the notification bell works, but I just don't know how it works. Imagine how much more powerful something like F&T would be if every week, if they had a guest, you could just literally click on a button and subscribe to every guest that's on there. I mean, they'd basically be kingmakers in our area. Yeah, Culture's a nice guy, that's why we like to give him crap all the time. But he also knows that we're just having fun with him. I am getting nowhere in this game tonight. I think I'm doing more talking than paying attention to the game. Found a boss, I guess. Alright, the fairy's doing nothing. Let's get rid of that. Let's put on the demon. See if it'll at least poke him every now and then. It seems like it's going to be an easy but very long boss. Hopefully it's got one of the parts of Dracula, so it's actually a worthwhile boss to be fighting. You know, if I click the bell on everybody I subscribe to, it would be overwhelming. But that is the thing with the subscription button. It really takes nothing. I mean, everybody in our corner, if everything was really going right, we should all have, you know, as many subscribers as some of the major channels. If we're actually doing some work, you know, not just trying to scrape by and steal the clout of others, but if we're actually doing things, then yeah, it doesn't cost anybody anything to click subscribe. The notification bell, on the other hand, yeah, I you know, it gets overwhelming when you've got, I think I've got something like 930 subscriptions to people. If I were to get a notification of every time anybody did anything, it would be overwhelming. So I think the way people in our area need to be trained is, you know, if you want to give somebody a chance, hit the subscribe bell or the subscribe button. If you actually, you know, like a lot of what they're saying and want to keep up to date, that's where you hit the subscribe bell. But I mean, that's just me personally. I mean, because of the panels I'm on and what I like and what I talk about and what I was doing before I was doing YouTube. I mean, my morning is spent listening to Michael Knowles, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, and then Matt Walsh. I mean, that's my morning while I'm at work. I get kind of my political updates, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, the rest of the day I'm catching up on YouTube, but it's all in the background because I'm working. I try to pop into the chats and, you know, at least make my presence known. Even if I can't sit there and actually chat with people because of work or whatever is going on. Alright, so we got the bone, we've got the heart. There's 3 other parts of Dracula to get, and I think they're all below us. So I think if I go to the right and go down, that's the best way to go. But getting people to that 1,000 to where they can at least yes, I'm pretty far on the conservative side, and yes, I am a Christian, even though I've got a few vices, but do believe that Jesus is our Lord and Savior and that he died on the cross. You know, I have no problem giving my testimony on that. And I lost what I was saying, but let's go. Is there an up over here? Yeah, I figured some people, Kathy, would like seeing games that they used to play, and not having to deal with trying to find them or play them again. Of course, personally, I like watching people that can get through the games pretty quickly. Kingsfield, I think I took five episodes, and each one was about 3 hours. But that is a long game. It can be done in like 30 minutes, but I'm no speed runner. This game, yeah, I'm sure it could be done in an hour, but I haven't played it in years, so I don't know where it's going. I don't remember any of this. Which explains why I've fought the same rooms over and over trying to figure out where to go. Oh, but what I was saying, I think, on the 1,000 subscribers, I mean, getting the people to 1,000 subscribers at least gives them a chance to do this in a way that they can at least make a few bucks on it. Kathy, I'd probably agree with that. After the last election, I registered as unaffiliated because I don't think the party that I was associated with actually did anything to try to keep voters that were unhappy with the way that election went or was called, whatever you want to say it was. So I'm now registered unaffiliated, but as far as my views, they're highly conservative. Religiously conservative, so... Well, Tim, I think we're definitely seeing the switch, at least on the other part, as far as the rich people thing goes. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody in their right mind still calling anybody and the Conservative Party the party of the rich. I mean, the liberals like to say that, but the liberals are in bed with Wall Street, and anymore, the party of the working man has become the Republican Party. But the Republican Party just doesn't know how to win anything. Even when they win, they don't know how to actually wield power. All they do is kind of stall until they're out of power again, and then they're much better at stopping and blocking things than they are of actually wielding the power and making things happen that we want. So and that's why, Tim, I say that I'm unaffiliated rather than independent, because I mean, even on the shows that I'm on, most of the guys are libertarian, and that's perfectly fine with me, but there are plenty of libertarian, and they tend to be independents. There's plenty of their views that I just can't get behind, although I'm far closer to them than I am to anybody on the left. Gray, I think there are 6, at least, Bidens. It's hard to keep track anymore, man. I mean, that guy, either he's getting facelifts on the daily, or something else is happening. It's hard to say anymore. I mean, he definitely, back in the 80s, I always thought he looked like, if any of you have seen The Dark Crystal, I thought he looked like one of the Skeksis. There was the one who dips his head into the bowl of water at the dining scene. He's got the really thick eyebrows and kind of hawkish features. I always thought he kind of looked like that. Now, he looks like some kind of weird clown. I mean, he's kind of got that same thing going on with his mouth that Heath Ledger did in his portrayal of the Joker, where, you know, his cheeks seem to pull back all the way to here, and he's showing almost 100% of his teeth when he smiles, which doesn't seem normal to me in any way. Yeah, part of the problem, Tim, is we have to. They're doing a thing with the language, like they've done with so many other things, where, you know, 5 years ago we would call most people on the left the liberals, but if you were a true liberal, and I know some true liberals, they're not the same as the far left. So I completely agree with what you're saying. I think we've got to start going with leftists, or, you know, something else, because I know sane liberals. I don't know any sane leftists. And Kitty, I agree. I don't think you can stay sane and try to stay in the middle at this point. I think you've got to pick your side. You've got to take a stance, and you've got to stick with it, because I don't see common ground anymore. I mean, I was always... So here's kind of my thing. This will give you some insight into where I'm at. I am a one-issue voter. There is no chance I vote for anybody who is pro-abortion. not going to happen. So, I mean, it's pretty hard for me to look at, you know, the Democrat side and find anybody that I would have any common ground with on there, because they're not only not pro-life, they are truly, in my opinion, pro-abortion. They're pushing it like it's a virtuous thing, more so than saying that it was a choice. And we went from common or uncommon and rare, or whatever the saying was, to I know people who use it as birth control, and I think that is absolutely disgusting. I was actually listening to a new Michael Knowles thing today. He started a new podcast series probably a week and a half ago, and it was, the episode that I listened to today was let's see, the Alucard mail. 8 points up on defense. I'll take that. He had somebody who actually survived an abortion. The person was one of twins. They didn't know that there were twins when they performed the abortion. The girl who was pregnant was 13 years old, and her mother just told her, "You're having an abortion." The doctors didn't ask her anything, didn't, you know, give her any support at all. They just automatically said, "Okay, we'll take care of this." So they aborted essentially her twin, and she was left scarred by it to a degree. She has she ended up having club feet and a number of other issues that have been corrected over her lifetime at this point, but they didn't find out till a month later that there were actually twins, and then they wanted her to abort the second child, the second of the twins, and at that point she was too late to get an abortion in the state that she lived in. But I mean, that's a situation where not only was the girl not respected. I mean, she was 13, but it wasn't a situation where she hadn't made the choice to do the things that get you into that position. But her mother basically just said, "No, we're sweeping this under the rug." And B, the doctors did not do anything to try to give her any information on what was actually going to happen to her. And that girl ended up getting adopted and met the biological mother years and years later. I think she was 21 when she met the biological mother. So the biological mother, if she was 21, the biological mother would have only been 35 at that point. And she now had her own family. And the girl had written her a letter. They had talked before they had met, but the girl had written her a letter that said, "Thank you so much for choosing life for me. And, being adopted has given me, all these different advantages that, she thought of as advantages," that kind of thing. And the mom had to actually tell her, "Yeah, I didn't actually choose life for you. I wasn't given a choice, and you were a failed abortion." And I think that's a sad but strong story, and says a lot about where we are as a country. That, you don't hear stories from the people who survive abortion. You don't hear stories from the people who regret the abortion all that much anymore. So that may have gone a little bit too deep into that, but it was an hour-long podcast I listened to today, and it was very interesting hearing from somebody who survived one abortion and they tried to do a second and weren't able to. because they had messed up in the first abortion so bad that it would have been dangerous for the mother at that point to have tried the second one and actually gone through with it. Boy, there are a ton of these stupid little demons. Yeah, safely going rare was the line I was going for earlier. Just distracted. Yeah, but it's a lot more powerful. It's a horrifying story, and it's a lot more powerful coming from her mouth because she goes, you know, she does some speaking engagements and tells people her story, and her story is, it's not a pretty one, but she's far happier being alive than she would be the other way, even with some of the issues that she has now. And she had to live in a cast for the first 2 years of her life. Even then, she's far happier being alive and being able to tell that story than what the alternative would be. And I can't remember the question that we had that got us onto that topic. I may have just taken it there. Oh, yeah, I kind of did take it there with the reason I'm a one-issue voter. I can't give specific details about who was, but I can tell you that there were people that are very close to me in my family that adoption was involved. And I still think that is by far the more honorable way of dealing with, you know, an unintended pregnancy or, you know, too young. I mean, there are options, and while there are plenty of people on the left who will say that the right is not, we don't care about helping, you know, mothers, you know, we want to stop abortion, but we don't help out. But most of the charity comes from the right. Most of the charity comes from the church. And also, there are tons of charities that this is specifically what they do. And then there's Planned Parenthood, which claims to take care of women's health. And really, I mean, you're seeing them close down now because once they had abortion taken away, they can't be funded because that's what they were doing. No matter how many times they want to say they were doing all these other things, their cash cow was killing babies. And if that's the outcome of Roe versus Wade, as we see Planned Parenthood go down in flames, fine with that. And just for a little bit of other background, I did, for the most part, walk the walk. I have only ever slept with my wife. So that was the late 90s into the 2000s. There were people who were willing to wait. Steven Crowder is the same way. At at least by his own, what he has told everybody. He was a virgin when he got married, and there is something to say about waiting. You don't have to worry about that situation. And it does take a little bit of self-control and a little bit of willpower, but personally I believe that that's how we were designed, if you believe in God. You look at all the things that are going on now with certain diseases that affect certain portions of the population that participate in certain actions, and other diseases in the past 20 years that also affected that certain population. And maybe it should be a clue that that is not a healthy lifestyle. And all the other STDs should be a clue that it's not a lifestyle that is meant for you to. And I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I mean, that was a decision I made, but there are certain things that have been going on that, as a Christian, kind of hint to, yeah, this wasn't the way it was supposed to go, and there are consequences to the choices people make. I have no idea where I am anymore. I'm just kind of walking forward. The pendulum swing, I think, is a weird thing. If most of the other panelists from, comics division shows were here, they would tell you they're not overly fond of the pendulum swinging back to the right. My personal opinion is the pendulum never swings all the way back. I don't think you're going to see an overcorrection because, personally, I feel historically that the pendulum never gets back to where it was. I mean, it does swing back, but it doesn't get back to where it was. Once the left claims something, it's claimed. And the obvious exception is probably Roe versus Wade, but that isn't because they pushed forward and got it. That's because the court made up a law. So in my opinion, Roe versus Wade is kind of the wild card out there, where it finally swung back on it, but only because A, we got the Supreme Court filled with people who actually interpret the Constitution, and B, the decision was horribly made in the first place. But things that were considered perverse or other things that have changed over the last 20 to 30 years, not likely to go back. And I think that's where the religious right did talk about the slippery slope 10 years ago during the Obama administration, and warned what could happen. And now we are seeing where that slippery slope takes us, and people are not overly impressed with where that slippery slope ends up. And pretty soon, I think you're going to have the P's as part of the rest of the alphabet, and I don't think that was anybody who wanted the rest of this stuff I don't think that was their intention, but that's always where it was going to go. But it's not just stuff like that. I mean, anytime the right gives an inch, the left takes a mile. And when that mile is taken, you may be able to pull it back a quarter mile. You're not pulling it back all the way. So the way I've always looked at it is the right tries to hold a line that was probably moral and good at one point. And no, not everybody is religious. Not everybody believes in the same morals. But I think having a moral compass is an important thing at this point. I mean, look at the direction that the country's going, and without that moral compass, and it's not going anywhere pretty. I mean, we're sliding into communism. The world is sliding into globalism. More and more people are turning from the church and turning from God. And when that happens, it's not looking pretty in the overall picture. So I know plenty of people who are not religious who do still agree on that fact that, say what you want about the religion, at least the moral guidance of religion takes you somewhere, you know, takes you somewhere. Probably a better place than where you go when you just deal with people who believe that they themselves are God, and, you know, it's secular humanism. Right now we're seeing a ton of religion that nobody wants to define as religion. Most of leftism is a religion, whether they want to believe it is or not. They have their dogmas. They have their sacraments even. I mean, abortion and some of the other things are literally sacraments at this point to a lot of the people on the left. It is not defined as a religion, but it acts as a religion. So and even many of the atheists I've met or talked to they tend to talk about the things that they believe in more of a religious way than in a non-religious way. So atheism in and of itself has essentially become a religion of non-religion. And it's the belief in self, and it's the belief that you're the ultimate decider of what is good or bad for you. Yeah, I agree, Bacon. I mean, some of us actually admit what our faith is, and others, they have a faith, whether they want to believe in it or want to state it or not, but the faith that they have just may not be one that's defined in the same way that everybody else, you know, all the actual religious faiths are. Yeah, and the Catholic Church is a lot different than in the last 10 years, I think, than where it was when we were all growing up, because I think I know where quite a few of us are on the age range, but I don't know about this Pope. I went to a Christian school, and while I would say that it was a good thing as far as, you know, faith-wise and learning-wise, for me, I've also seen a large portion of the people that I went to school with turn completely atheist afterwards because they were probably pushed too hard or their parents put them there and it wasn't a choice. It was, you know, you're going to Christian school. And it's kind of like the preacher's kid. I mean, the pastor's kid, when I grew up at least, tended to be one of the worst behaved kids. They were the most rebellious. So when you got a whole high school or K through 12 of them, there's a lot that are going to go that way. Well, and Kathy, that's where I don't think the government should be involved in marriage at all. Marriage is a sacrament of religion. And I get pushed back on that, but the idea of marriage really, as far as I know, came from the religion more so than anything else. I mean, if people were left to their own devices, they're going to, you know, of course not get married, because what does that actually do for you? You're stuck with one person for the rest of your life. I firmly believe that it's religion that actually created the sacrament of marriage, and I think the government should stay out of it. Kind of like the decision that was made by the courts. I think civil unions, if everybody was given the same rights, would have served just fine. Instead, marriage was pushed to be a federal thing. I don't think that was ever the intent. Yeah, copied. No, they're typically, to be honest, they're typically whatever people want to talk about. I'm just playing a game and am perfectly happy to talk with people in the chat, because I am ecstatic that there are people that actually want to come watch and talk. So if it goes religious, if it goes political, I mean, political is kind of what my channel does anyway when I'm not gaming, so that's not a problem for me. And I have no problem talking about religion, so it's fine by me. And it'll probably turn some people off, but at the same time, that's life. I'd like to have as many subscribers as I can, but at the same time, I'd like subscribers that actually understand what I'm about, and if not have similar beliefs, at least would like to discuss beliefs in a way that isn't overly, you know, sorry, boss fight, in a way that isn't just being obnoxious. So I hope that's not what it has been. Yeah, Tim, I mean, that's always been the thing, is don't talk religion and politics, but if you're going to be on YouTube, chances are anymore, since everything is downstream of the politics, it's hard not to be political in one way or another. Chances are, if you're non-political, then most of the time you're just agreeing with the current everything. So, and the current everything doesn't tend to work for me all that well. But I'll say it's a hell of a lot easier to have a stream when there's something to talk about. Although we're probably getting close to the end of it. It's been almost 2 hours and it's 2:10 in the morning here. The wife will be extremely pissed off when I go upstairs at this point. Yeah, bacon, exactly. I mean, there's no reason that marriage should have been anything that the government has to deal with. Because it's the intertwining of two lives into one household. It is not anything other than that. The whole reason that tax benefits and stuff were given to married people is because married people tend to be the ones that produce more taxpayers. In my opinion, I mean I think that's what it was incentive for people to actually get married. But even then, it would have been fine if you just filed separately and you had the same filings as any other person. That wouldn't have bothered me at all. I don't think the government should be involved in it in any way. I definitely don't think it should be redefining marriage. And I think with that last decision, when everybody got upset with Clarence Thomas, what I would like to know is where anybody sees an actual right spelled out in the Constitution to abortion. And then to his other points that he made in his in the decision, where does marriage appear in the Constitution and the right to be married, or the right that anybody gets special treatment as a married couple? I mean, I think my point is either the Constitution needs to be amended to specifically grant those rights, and it needs to be amended in the proper way, or the states need to decide that stuff. At no point should the Supreme Court ever be deciding any of this. That is not the role of the Supreme Court. And we've gotten too many things where the Supreme Court has decided to step in and make law when they're supposed to be interpreting law or telling you that a law is constitutional or not. All right, we're going to try this boss one more time, and then I got to hit the sack because I got to get up for work and everything else early in the morning. This boss seems a little bit outside of my level right now, or I'm just not paying enough attention. One or the other. Silly me thinking that last night would be the end of this game. I mean, technically I did finish the game, but it was just the bad ending, so whatever. Whole nother castle. But I've enjoyed myself. I hope you guys have too. And I think it was a pretty good chat we had going on. If a little bit outside of the normal gaming stream. These stupid little worms with their knockback are really bad. What's up, awesome one? How you doing tonight? I'm not sure how you hit the top of this boss. And we can try some spells and see if that actually does anything. I guess I don't need to jump, I can just stand down here and hit the toes. That'll take out the legs just as easily. I guess at very least I can tell everybody, if you want to hear most of Brahma's beliefs, go watch his Castlevania Part 4 stream. Alright, let's try to get... I can't get the spell to go off. Okay, we'll do this one. Is there a place up there where you can stand and hit? Have you been in here the whole time listening, Awesome One? Or for a while? Alright, let's see if I've got any food left. Hot roast. I guess we'll toss that out and see if that gives me enough life to kill it. There goes an arm. Well, you weren't far off with the comment. We went... Dang it. We went a little bit into religion and politics. I felt like I was getting somewhere on that one. That boss fight. Well, everybody, I thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a great night and that your week goes great. Hope I see you on Yelling at Parked Cars tomorrow night, and I will talk with you guys later. Have an awesome night, everybody. Night Tim, Night Bacon, Cathew, Awesome One. Great to have you here. And Copy Kitty, thank you for coming in. See you next time.